Awesome day to you, awesome people, and welcome to another week of What's Your Story, where we share, empower, heal, and inspire. I want to wish everyone a happy 2022. I hope it has been amazing for you so far, and I wish that you receive unlimited peace, love, and prosperity throughout this year and for the years to come. Having we hadn't been here since December. It seems like a long time, but it's not really. And time is going by so fast. It's already the 12th day of January, right? So, do things that matter. That's all I can say. Do things that matter because time is moving on, whether you realize it or not. But I want to thank you all. My name is Shenrika. I am your host for What's Your Story. We are on every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Times may vary a little depending on my guests because they are very busy and awesome people. But again, I do have another awesome guest. As always, she is a teacher by nature. I ain't even gonna say that she went to school for being a teacher, but she is a teacher. That is her nature. She's always, teaching something, and she is a wealth of knowledge. I can verify to that. I've worked with her for a long time. She's a mentor, whether she knows it or not. I've learned a lot of stuff. Some stuff I ain't take heed to, but she taught me whether I realize it or not. But before I bring her on, quick commercial break. So hold tight. We'll be right back with you. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Awesome people. Thank you again, whether you're catching this live or catching a replay, whether you're here on Facebook or over on YouTube. Hit the like, hit the share, hit the comment, or make comments. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon to be notified when we go live. But thank you wherever you are. Thank you for taking the time to join us. But without further ado, let me bring on my beautiful guest because she is the reason why we're here. Awesome day to you, beautiful lady. How are you?
Good. I am so excited about being here. Thank you so much for inviting me.
My pleasure. And I thank you for, agreeing to share your awesomeness with everybody. I was like, hey, I need to get her on here now because she knows too much. Not, hey, people need to know the things that that especially can, a lot of things that can benefit them and their families. So, but basically What's Your Story is, it's your floor. You let the people know who is Erica Simpson. What does Erica Simpson do? How does she start doing it? All of that great stuff. What you got going on, what you got coming up, anything that you want to share with the people. It's yours.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm Erica Simpson as Shenrika, and Shenrika and I worked together for a long time, and we've been knowing each other for longer than we worked together. Since I don't know, probably
you were a little girl.
Right.
I remember pigtails, and I remember you, growing up as a teenager. You worked. Your dad had a store. Right. And then you went off to college, of course, and all of that good stuff. So, I mean, for a long time.
Right.
We ain't that old though, so but for a long time, just know that.
So, and I started out, I got my undergraduate degree from Winthrop University in elementary education. I went ahead and got a master's degree from Francis Marion in Florence, South Carolina, near Myrtle Beach, for the people that are not familiar with South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to take the time to say that right now I'm not using either one of those degrees, and that a formal education will make you a living, but a self-education will make you a fortune.
Jim Rohn.
So with that being said, I don't take anything. I don't take my formal education for granted, but that is not what determines your success in life. You can
Right.
have all the degrees in the world, but if you don't have the motivation and the talent, and you don't have the application part to apply different things to your life, then you may not be as successful as someone that has a GED or no education at all. There are a lot
Mhm.
of plumbers that are making a lot more money than people that are holding a 4-year degree. And it doesn't mean that a person with a 4-year degree cannot switch paths and cross over into the world of entrepreneurship.
Mhm.
Just as I did. I started out teaching first grade for 5 years in Lancaster, and then I got my real estate license and I began to sell real estate. And then from there, I just kind of started branching into other areas. And I started out primarily as a buyer's agent, and then I transitioned over to the listing side. And with me transitioning over to the listing side, I was able to take on more business ventures. And then, as Shanrika said, that I'm a teacher at heart, no matter what. So then a lot of people were asking me a lot of questions about, what I do as far as real estate goes. I have a finance company, a bail bonding
Mhm.
company, and an insurance company. So a lot of people are like, well, how do you do all those things? Delegate, delegate, delegate.
Right.
A lot of people want to be a one-man show. What it say, Jack of all trade, master of none.
Mastermind.
You
Mhm.
can't be a specialist in everything.
Right.
You are as good as your team makes you.
Right.
So I always encourage people to duplicate yourself. Um,
Mhm.
it's not about working harder or how long you can work, but it's about working smarter and developing systems and routines and duplicating yourself in order to thrive and survive. And I don't know if you listen to the song by the Carters, Beyonce and Jay-Z, but
Mhm.
their song Boss, it says that, everybody wants to be a boss until the invoices come.
Right.
And it's not about how many invoices you can pay, but how many people that you make successful in your team. And
Oh yeah.
everyone is not built to be a chief, because we have to have some Indians.
Mhm.
But as long as you are thriving in your rightful position in life and doing what, as Shanrika started off, that you got love, peace, and happiness. Those are the greatest gifts of all.
Oh
So to
yeah.
do what you love, be happy every day, and what you're doing and how you're doing it is the greatest of them all.
Oh.
So everybody doesn't aspire to be a business owner. Everybody does not aspire to have their name in lights. Everyone does not aspire to be doing a million things. And that's
Mhm.
perfectly okay, as long as you know where your place is. And so I'm going to reflect now on a book called Rocket Fuel. It's a very
Mhm.
good intro to business. And it talks about visionaries versus integrators. So you
Mhm.
got people that are visionaries that got all these ideas,
Mhm.
but the integrators of the world make
Put it in
things
action.
happen.
Mhm.
And so you need the integrators, and the integrators and the sometimes the most important people are not
Mhm.
the face of the business. It's the people in the background that makes the business successful.
Right.
So with that being said, I'll give an example to kind of further clarify these roles for people, because a lot of people, they want to start a business and everybody just saying, oh, just be get a business, get in real estate, build generational wealth, da da da. Well, you got to know what your place is.
Mhm.
So, to give you a general idea, Walt Disney is the example that the book uses. And
Yeah.
Walt Disney made the magic. He wrote the stories. His name is the name that is
The
in
face.
light.
Mhm.
But it was his brother who worked
Mm-hmm.
behind the scenes that did the accounting, that made sure things happen, because Walt Disney's mind was in so many different places, but
Mm-hmm.
without his brother executing, because I see so many people, they have all these wonderful ideas, but if you don't get out of your head into action, they never come to fruition.
Right.
So you need an integrator if you are that person. And it takes some people a great deal of time to figure out that they need an integrator and that they are the visionary, or somebody that's the integrator that can execute, but they just
Mm-hmm.
can't generate the ideas that are needed
Right.
to make something
Make.
happen. But
Mm-hmm.
if you give them the idea, they can take the ball and run.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where you come into knowing your prospective place. And a lot of people want to go at business alone. You cannot do that. There's a difference between being self-employed and being a
Mm-hmm.
business owner. And I gave the example, if you go follow my Bossed Up Academy page on Facebook and IG, as well as YouTube, you'll see where I did an example where a lot of people are saying, "Oh, I'm teaching my kid entrepreneurship. They got a lemonade stand. They're raking leaves. They're cutting grass." Well,
Right.
you're actually teaching your child to be self-employed,
Mm-hmm.
because if your child don't rake the leaves, if they don't work that lemonade stand, if they don't cut the neighbor's grass, they don't make
Right.
any money. A
Right.
business owner, the business runs without the
Mm-hmm.
person physically there.
Right.
So you got to teach your kids, if you're going to teach them, it's not nothing wrong. And I'm not downing people that want to teach their kids to work independently as self-employed people. But you got to understand the difference between the terms.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want your kid to be a boss,
Mm-hmm.
a business owner, then you teach them to hire people to do the work in volume, taking a little bit of profits rather than all of the profit.
Mm-hmm.
And they can sit at home and play their video games and
Or whatever.
still check their bank account, and it is still growing.
Oh yeah.
So that is the key to that. If you have any questions, we can because I think we got a few people on here. You can drop the questions, and I'll be glad to answer them. Another key thing is that the three facets of life in general that make people millionaires with an S,
Mm-hmm.
plural, is real estate, finance,
Mm-hmm.
insurance, and I guess, and I'm sorry, I should have said four, and
Mm-hmm.
stocks. So
Yeah.
you're hearing a lot about that. So even if you don't aspire to be a business owner, but you aspire to build wealth, then you may want to look into those categories. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to go out here and do certain things in order to start a LLC, a S corporation, in order to do that. So you may want to explore those areas to find your niche, so that way you can best suit you, because some people like sitting on the computer all day watching charts and graphs. Well, guess what? Stocks may be your thing. It may
Right.
not be to go out here and start a networking business or whatever it is. So
Mm-hmm.
you just, like I said, you have to find your respective place in life and find what you like to do. And it just generates some income for you, or additional income, so that you can create savings. A lot of people are talking about generational wealth, but if you listen to some of your more wealthy people, they're giving away a lot of their wealth, and they're
Yes.
not leaving their wealth to their family members because of the complacency that it creates. And a lot of times, if you've seen somebody inherit something that they didn't work for, that it's gone as
Like
quick as
water.
they, right. So it's better to install the know-how, the work ethic, and give your children leverage, but do you want to hand everything to them on a silver platter?
Right.
So those are things to be considered
Oh, yeah.
when you looking at, how you should do what you should do, even though people talk about generational wealth. But like I said, if you look at a lot of the wealthy people, they are signing, I can't think of what it's called right now, but they're signing a pledge to give away most of their wealth.
Yeah, I can't think of the name of it either, but I just saw where someone that recently passed or something, then and they had signed one. What is the name? Oh, is it like a humanitarian or
It's
something? But it's
right.
something of that effect. But yeah, definitely, because a lot of times people don't appreciate things when they don't work for it. So I can understand that. I mean, they amass all of this money, and especially now, I don't know, people are feeling entitled instead of that they need to earn things. So I just kind of feel like it's, especially with technology, is a good thing and a bad thing, right? Kids now are young and they have exposure to things that we may not have had exposure to until we got older. High school sometimes, maybe. Depending on where you were in the world when you were coming up, because some places are faster paced than others, but they have access to so much information now. But it's not a lot of it is not good information. It shows the fancy, all of the get the quick, everything is happening so fast, get fast money, be flashy, do this, do that, and to just drop a bunch of money in their laps. I mean, that's kind of like self-destruction, if you think about it. So yeah, that avenue that they're taking does make a lot of sense. Because if you get the knowledge, you get the know-how, you could come from zero and get to 1 million, 2 million, whatever. But if you got all of this money and you don't know, you didn't earn it, you don't know how to keep it, you're going to go from there to zero, really fast. Um, Let me ask you, Boss of Academy, like, how did you come up with that? What was the idea behind that? And
Well, people were just asking me a lot of questions, business questions. So, and then I went to a Grant Cardone workshop in Las Vegas. And then they
10x.
said coaching and consulting work was like one of the fastest growing I guess it would be career paths. So I said, well, maybe I should, make this into something lucrative, considering
Mm-hmm.
about the number of questions I'm getting, and the amount of questions that I'm getting. And then at the same time, the pandemic was hitting,
Mm.
and a lot of people didn't know what to do because we were on a mandatory shutdown. A lot of people was not keeping up or did not understand the things that the SBA was offering. A lot of people hadn't even heard of the SBA, Small Business Administration.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and they did, and nobody was really talking about or explaining, which we all know about now, and it takes
Yeah.
people 10 months too late to figure out what PPP was.
Right.
Um, and what was PPP? How did it work? What that they people didn't realize that, hey, as a sole proprietor, a gig worker, I'm actually
Get
a
some
business
money.
owner. So people didn't understand that. They thought that
Mm-hmm.
they needed an LLC, they needed a name, that they didn't understand that you could be operating a business as a sole proprietor under your
Mm-hmm.
name and your social security number.
Right.
So there was a lack of education on what people did not know.
Mm-hmm.
So, educating people on, if you get paid through a 1099, that you are actually an independent business,
Right.
basically an entity, even though you don't have a quote unquote name and
Mm-hmm.
you're working under your name and social security. Then now we have EIDL, which is the Economic injury disaster loan. Um, People didn't understand that.
Right.
It's at 3.75% interest rate, 30-year fix. You don't
Mm-hmm.
have a payment for 18 months. The people who got it back when the pandemic first happened, they don't have a payment for 24 months. But if
Right.
you're a late bloomer into it, which is over now for new applicants, they're just doing reconsiderations now. But um, that you won't have a payment for 18 months. They won't even allow you to pay on it because they don't know what they're going to do with those loans.
Right.
We're encouraging everybody to go to house.gov, senate.gov, tweet your senators, tweet your House of Representatives, and they're fighting right now to get these loans forgiven like PPP.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you don't take the money, then you may be missing out in the event that they decide to forgive it. And if
Right.
they don't forgive all of it, forgive some of it. Or if they decide to reduce the interest rate, right now it's still at a good rate, 3.75.
Mm-hmm.
But, they're asking them to reduce the rate to 1% if they're not going to forgive it. So there is a lot of different things happening politically that people are not aware of and not keeping up with. So I try to inform them about that as well as different business things like I know people love Brian Tracy. I'm not a big fan of his, but telling people to live debt free and all this kind of stuff. But then, you taking their money with a credit card.
Right.
And that a lot of people are in the struggle because they don't know how to navigate to
Mm-hmm.
use their rewards points to get them travel or things that they're having to spend money
Muddy
for.
on it anyway. Yep. Oh,
Something happened with my thing.
okay.
That they could be getting for free that they're not getting because they are not using their rewards points. And I'm not telling you to get into credit card debt, but you got to pay for gas, you got to get food. So
Use
why
it.
not
Mm-hmm.
get points and just pay it as you go? There's no rule against how often you can pay a credit card bill.
Right. And if you think
So
about it, most people or most wealthy people use credit, what I'm saying, as a leverage to, to make more money. So I mean, I think it has a lot to do with, like you said, not knowing how to navigate, or not understanding how credit works or how it can work, other than, I get this credit card and I go to Gucci and buy these, shoes or this purse or whatever that just came out, and I'll just, that's not going to bring you any more money after you spend it. And even if you sell it, I doubt that you're going to get what you put into it. So, I think, the education part is really important, for them to know, what it is, how it works, how it can help them, you know on a
right, and
on
I'm
a
trying to
much
tell you good
deeper
good
level.
debt versus bad debt.
Right, right.
What's going to give you leverage? If the bank's borrowing money, why shouldn't you? They borrow your money every day. So
Every day.
we don't have as much money as the bank. So if they borrow money, what makes you exempt?
Yeah. Right. They give you a penny, what, a penny a month? You get 12 pennies at the end of the year. That's
Okay. Right.
so. I mean, you a lot of things. People are, oh, they got money, but yeah, they got money, but do you know how they got that money? And instead of being or wanting to criticize them, maybe should take time and say, what? Well, what were they doing? How were they doing it? Because if you can emulate somebody that's successful and that's doing certain things, then not always, but there's a great chance that you come out with the same or similar results. But yeah, I
Yeah,
don't.
and so it's about being informed and educated. And then back to my original quote at the beginning, a
Mm-hmm.
self education will make you a fortune. So
Yep.
learning these life skills, and like even when you were talking about your grandchildren, being over in Japan and learning different things.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the things that's going to carry you through life rather than um
Yeah.
what is it, cosine and sine, and how do you read a graph. So you gotta kind of just open up your mind like a parachute and be able to accept and receive knowledge and be a lifelong learner. If you do that, you're unstoppable. No matter if you decide to go in business, just like I said, if you learn how to read stock charts and stuff, they said that that's just as good as printing money.
Yeah.
So it just depends on where your interest is or where your interest lies, and developing that. And I come across a lot of people that don't. They just kind of just in a fog and don't know where they want to be. So you may want to do some of these free online career assessment tests or some of the
Mm-hmm.
DISC tests
Yes,
that they
that's right.
have online to help you sort through some of that so that you can find your respectful place in life. You may want to team up with a business owner and be their integrator. And not to say that the integrator, even though they're in the background, that they can't own a percentage of the business. So you can do your part and have another person do their part. And,
Right.
you be a business partner, but your role is just totally different. So, I mean, it's just a lot of, finding where you should come in and what's your role and how you should best play that role, and
Oh
what
yeah.
and how that role is going to leverage you in your situation and make you over or the quality of your life a lot better.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people say that money isn't everything, but it's up there with air.
Yeah. Right.
And so we had this discussion on Monday where being broke, it costs more to be broke than to have money. You got the Kardashians, a lot of those, brand names, they're sending them that stuff to model,
Mm-hmm.
to advertise for them. So
Free advertising. Right.
they're getting their items for free, whereas you got to go out here and pay $3,000 for that Gucci pocketbook she got for free.
Mm-hmm.
Um, then when you're poor, you don't have as many resources. You're not eating as well
Right.
because you're eating things like that new Taco Bell chicken.
Look, I've been tripping off the reviews on that. I'm like, why would y'all? But okay.
um, then you may not have access to some of the better health care.
Mm-hmm.
Also, when you go to buy things, if you got to buy it when you have money to buy it, then you may have to buy it at regular price
Right.
versus being able to buy it when it's on sale
Mm-hmm.
and you getting it at a discount. Or
Right.
like we said with the credit card, not having those rewards points, now you got to spend $1,000 to go to Myrtle Beach for the weekend, where somebody else is showing up down there for free on rewards points.
Exactly.
So those are the things that you have to seek more knowledge and more understanding, to put yourself in a better position. And if not only to put yourself in a better position, to put your family in a better position, may it be your children or whoever.
Okay. So right now, Boss Up Academy, what do you have going on? Do you have some webinars or some courses or something for the people who are looking at being in business or help that's already
Um,
in business?
well, this first quarter, because we try to let people get their income tax back when they've got more disposable income to pay for
Mm-hmm.
some courses. And people buy what they want, beg for what they need. But we
Bingo.
plan to do we plan to do some things in March. But right now we're focusing on small business, which includes sole
Mm-hmm.
proprietors, and helping them get their money for this EIDL run, because we don't know right now how long that is going to last as far as people getting reconsiderations. A lot of people just think because they were denied for the EIDL that it was their credit. They're
Right.
not even reading the letters to find out why they were denied.
Mm-hmm.
So right now we're just going through helping small business sole proprietors understand why they were denied, to help them turn their denial into an approval, because we don't know where this new variant is going to go and how, this is going to
Yeah.
work out. So with the number of requests that we're getting for assistance for that, it's keeping us pretty busy.
Oh yeah.
So that's why we haven't done any quote unquote live classes here recently, just because we've been doing a lot of one-on-ones.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
and, and so even though the new application process was over December 31st, there's a lot of people that have been denied, and a lot of
Hmm.
people are not being denied because of credit. Some of them being denied because they didn't complete the application. So they said that their
Right.
application was incomplete. Some people got denied because they didn't respond to their loan officer.
Right.
Some people got denied because their business, quote unquote, was unverifiable. Some people got denied because they can't get their IRS transcript, because maybe you filled out your 4506T. You put your home address because you work out of your home, but
Hmm.
on your tax return, your tax preparer used your post office box. So
Right.
if it doesn't match up, then you could get declined, whereas you need to go back and fix that so that they can get the transcript.
Yeah.
Or you might have, thinking, I did it under my LLC versus your tax preparer. Yes, you have a LLC, but they filed your LLC under a Schedule C, which made you go into that sole proprietor category. So you
Hmm.
have the wrong box checked off. So those kind of things that we're working with people one on one to do right now. So that's what's keeping us really busy.
Okay, cool. And well, before we leave, because normally it's about 30 minutes, but before we
Oh,
leave,
sorry.
no, that's fine. That's fine, because I want the people to get all the good information, so they'll know, because a lot of times, we don't know what resources are available. So, somebody might have been thinking like, darn, I need some help with this, but they ain't know where to go. They know,
Right.
Shaquisha over here was doing it for people and they was getting 30 racks, but, the policeman looking around. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, they may not know a legitimate route. So, I mean, that's
Right.
good. But she is just a broker licensed, real estate broker licensed, or broker in charge. North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia, right?
Well, we took Georgia off just because we've been so busy in North Carolina, and that's another thing of not having too many irons in the fire and know where you need to reduce that so that you can become more effective in other areas. So
Right.
right now we're just doing North and South Carolina because of our location of being on the border.
Okay, cool. And you were building. What did you name that the subdivision? I don't know. In my head, it's stuck Armageddon. I don't know where it came from, but what was? Because you were
The
like, what?
albatross,
Okay, Arbitrust. I
and
was
it's
like, what did
across.
she name it? I'm like, I never got an answer to that. I couldn't find it, so I was like, I don't know. In my head was Armageddon. I don't know, but
Yeah, the albatross, because the subdivision, it's about 60 homes. We're building in other areas too, but we've started that subdivision, and we called it the albatross because it's across from the golf course. And an albatross in the game of golf is
mhm,
a ace in the hole, and it's a
yeah,
very rare event that people can get an albatross in golf. So
right.
that's where the name came from, because it's across from the golf course.
Okay, cool. So, do you still have homes available in that subdivision, or how
Yeah,
does it?
we got about 50 more home sites that we're building in that subdivision, but we doing some projects that are all around different counties too as we
Okay.
are progressing. But we're putting in a lot more infrastructure in that particular subdivision as far as roads and stuff go.
Yeah, okay, cool. So if or are you offering the financing? Do you have all of that on board? Like if I said, okay, Erica, look, I want to buy a house or I want to build a house, or whatever the case may be, what do I need?
Okay, so what we have is we've got some no documentation loans. We are a commercial broker where we are able to get people investor loans. Um, We also can get a first-time home buyer government assistance, where the government will help pay the mortgage. If your
Hmm.
mortgage is 1,500, the government might give you 300, so then your out of pocket is 1,200. Kind of
Right.
like, I call it the Section 8 of home ownership.
Hey.
So yeah, so we've got that. We've got 100% programs for people that doesn't have any income limits. Um, we have programs where if you got one score, just different things. We've got almost financing for anybody. Now, the lower the credit score, the more you're
The
going to
interest.
need
Right.
finance. I mean, you're going to need money down. But we
Yeah.
do give you an action plan if that's not doable for you. And we do give free action plans to help you increase your scores to minimize the out of pocket expense.
Okay. So this is North Carolina and South Carolina.
North Carolina and South Carolina.
All
Mm-hmm.
right. So, guys, if you're looking, I mean, it's about to be tax time. So, you're going to have some money. And if you're looking to try to buy a house, build a house, you need to holler at her because, I mean, she has subdivisions. You know, she could get you financing or at least get you on the right path. So, I mean, this is a, you know, she know her stuff. I ain't going to say the other word, but she know her stuff. You know, when it comes to this real estate and this, you know, financing, I would say she is one of the great ones. I will definitely, um, you know, because she will get a deal closed. Trust me, she'll get that deal closed. But thank you again. I
And we
appreciate you
do
so much for
resale.
coming
So
on.
I do want to
You,
add that we do resales so that people don't feel like we just do new construction and only sell our properties. We'll sell you
uh,
anything that's for sale. If you have an interest in a property that's not for sale, if you get us the address, we'll work a deal with the owner to see if we can get you that property.
I told y'all she gonna close the deal now. But that's
Well,
her.
thank you.
You're welcome. And that's her information at the bottom, but that's only for Boss Up Academy. She is Erica Holmes. So if you check out ericaholmes.com, ERICAHOMES, I'm going to put it in here too because I'm sorry we didn't even add that on here. And I don't know why I didn't think about it ahead of time. Where's my Lord Jesus?
We can drop it in the comments.
Yeah, we'll drop it in the comments for you. But any last words for the people as far as, you know, whatever it is in life, business, you know, the pursuit of happiness, all of that good stuff.
Get out of your head and get into action.
It's that simple. It's that simple, y'all. Well, thank y'all again for joining us on another week of What's Your Story, where we share, empower, heal, and inspire. I greatly appreciate you all. I greatly appreciate my awesome, beautiful guest for sharing her awesomeness with us today. But we'll see y'all next week, same time, same bat channel. And